Hi, it's Xavier. I'm filming somewhere else now with my old blue background. But do you want to know what I'm going to do with this lemon? You have to wait and find out. But it's pretty interesting. Hi, it's Xavier, and we're going to sort this lemon out now. And you know how much I love lemons. It had a lot of promise. But the only promise it's got now is the pot. The pot is going to be good, because with that pot, which I desperately needed actually, I'm going to be getting this larch out, and we'll see if we can get that into a better pot. So this larch, you will have seen me do a wire and a savage first styling on last year, and the video's going to be there somewhere, or there, don't know. But I think we need to go and have a look and see what's going on with this, don't you? It's fully budded up, as you saw from the footage earlier, and I'm ready to make some decisions with this. The first one I can see straight away, even before I take it out. If you have a look here, we've got this very, very straight branch, but we've got one coming from here, and then under it we've got this one coming from there before we go further up. But I want to break the line of that straight branch, so I think the first move we might make, he says confidently, is that. So we're going to get the new growth from there. Okay. I'm leaving a little bit of probably about 2 millimeters above the cut site. Some people will cut all the way down. I tend to be a bit conservative, and I will cut paste it. Okay, is there anything else we can do straight away? Okay, so all of these have budded out. I've got a broken one off there. Let's take the two ends on, so we're going to get 3 off there. On here, we've got an upward bud. Don't want that. And truthfully, the thickness of that branch is quite big, so I don't want to be having that coming out too far. So let's see if we can. We really want the growth to come from here or here, so let's encourage that. We know there's going to be activity in those buds because they're green. There's one underneath, I don't want that. I could have that one. I probably don't want this one here, but we're going to wait and see how they extend and let them go. We've got buds quite close in there. There's nearly 3 from the same spot, and that's actually a really, really straight branch. So there's a temptation to go, do you know what, because we're going to keep bringing it in. Although I do like how it changes direction. And obviously I've said I'm going to repot it, but it's much, much easier to do the pruning work on while it's in a nice stable platform here. So that's why we're going to carry on with the pruning now. Okay, hopefully this makes things easier to see. I've just put this at a slight angle. So let's get in on this. So do I want to have this? Well, I definitely want something coming to the front, because if we've got this as the front, it'd be nice to get something coming out of there. We've got something there. But truthfully, I don't want this to extend any further than that. In fact, I don't want that. So I've just got 2 here. I don't want anything going up. Got a load of upward stuff there. So let's get rid of that. Clean up this. Branches into 2 here. Happy with that. And I might actually get rid of this coarse bit of growth there. We've got one coming off the side. And I can talk my way through this, but the truth is all I'm doing is neatening where there's rough growth. Let's try and smooth it off. And I'm looking at advantageous buds that will give me the directions that I want. And I've reduced there, so I've got a growth that'll come from here, 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 and here. Okay, and then look at this back one here. Obviously this is going to be the main part of the branch, so I need to be bringing that further back. It's not the ideal one, so that could actually end up being subject to a bit of wiring and turning. So I'm just going to shorten it Right, so I'm going to slowly go around systematically. I'll do this and come back and show you what I've done. Okay, just a little bit further on, just to see, I've cleaned this right up, so we've just basically got this small set of branches coming out here, just one branch left on here, and just a few here. And the truth is that will probably get cut, seeing how these buds go. But I want to get enough growth on that, so that's the lower ones there. Up here, I've started to clear it out a bit, remove some more growth, which is down to 2 here. But in here now we've got to sort out all this mess, and this is often what you'll find with larch. You'll have this whole conglomeration of stuff here, and the advice I've got is actually be quite ruthless. Look at the thickness of the branches in comparison to what's around it. And really that whole branch is useless anyway. I've got to think about it in comparison to the thickness of this one here, which is actually pretty thick. I'm tempted to remove that one as well. But I'll keep it for now, but that's probably a choice I'll make in the future. That one will get removed, with this one taking over as primary. Just bend it down and out of the way a bit, to be honest. So then if we look at this one, just have 2 or 3, 4 there. Ideally, you'd want these 2 because of the fact that they're tapering, but the angle between the 2 is 90 degrees, so it means I really need to pick which ones I want. And bear in mind, I think this is going to get removed. They're the 2 likely options to keep. We've got a lot of stuff coming over here. Okay, I can wire that out around. It may be that stays, that's the reason why I kept that, so it means we can be able to form a pad with what's there. Okay, working further in, dead branch here, don't want that. There's a little nodule there. This one here, it's coming from the junction, but it's actually coming back 90 degrees, that's never going to be any good. Rough growth there, it's what you call coarse. Truth is, I probably like that little one better than this coarse growth here. So we're going to move that. Although this is a lovely bit of growth here, I'll wire that. Actually wire that. That will need wiring, yeah, definitely. Which way do I want to go with it? Probably want to bring it down. Okay, so we've just put a little bit of downward slope in it, which is what we're going to slowly need to do with these as well. Not like we can do with that one. We've got this little mess here, which is easy enough to deal with. Sometimes it gives you 2 little buds in just the right place. Not a big gap, and that's ideal there. Got something going upwards there, remove that. Clean up that. So hopefully what we'll do is we're going to get growth from these 2 here. So I'm going to continue to work my way around that tree, and I'll come back to you when it's all wired up or it's all sorted out. You know exactly how I do larch, and if you don't, there's a really good series on my playlist, my larch playlist. I don't know if you put a playlist up there, but yeah, check through that and go through all of that stuff for you. It's lovely how the sun, I can see it just glaring on my face. I must be lit up like a star, I should imagine. Right, I'll come back to you in a minute. Gosh, sunbathing weather. Okay, I've got myself up to here now. A bit of wire here just to put some bend down there. Remove the opposing branch here, although it had a lot of good ramification on it. Because I had nothing over this side, this is what was the priority. Here I've just moved the line of this a bit, so some of the buds are going to be pointing in directions that I might like branches, and that's the thing you're thinking about with all of these. Where is those buds going to shoot out to? This branch here, I can see myself pulling it back even further because it's just going up like that. Do you know what? I'm just wasting energy, aren't I? As much energy as I waste talking. There we go. So that's going to keep, I want to keep that pad going that way so I can actually try and make it look like it's slanting down, so then match what I'm doing here. And even the same with this one. I'll probably take that top bit off and use those. This could have a bit more wire to put a downward slant onto it. We're going up here, down here, so I've just got to sort the apex out now. I'm quite happy with all that little mess there for now, so I'm just going to cut it back a bit, because I think really before you can make that final decision we need to know what's going on down in the engine room. So I'll come back to you when I've done the top bit. Okay, truthfully, I've realised and recognised that although I could do this lower bit without knowing what's going on down there, at the moment I've only got two fronts and one because of that root in there. I need to have a look and see what I can do with that down below before I decide what's going on up there, because there's quite a few decisions that have to be made. So I'll get it out of this, we'll have a look at the roots and then come back to you. Okay, well it's got a lot darker and I can definitely feel like it's near freezing, and this is not a great time to be bare rooting stuff. But we're here, so let's get this off. Got some nice roots developing there, but I've got this horrible feeling that we've got the classic larch base here. So we've got some of the old claggy soil, clayey soil in there actually. Okay, let's have a look and see what we've got. Now this is what happens though in the end when you keep a tree in a plant pot for a very, very long time. You put yourself back in terms of development of roots, stuff like that. So it can be a problem. But anyway, let's have a look and see how we've gone. Can't remember how much. I did quite a bit of root pruning on this, I think. I've definitely got the makings of a root system there. Definitely. Actually, we've got quite a nice spread on that, thinking about that. An obvious problem there, this root there is going from there and then straight across, so that's going straight away. Got this huge, that's great big horrible lump. And I know there's people there going, oh, it's going to be an air layer here. But no, I just want to see another one that's crossing here, so we'll get rid of that one. I mean, if you imagine a mangrovey situation, because we know larches like to be in mangroves. Yeah. I quite like this, it gives it character. Now, just so you know, as a result of Yeli's video about soils and stuff, I've got myself a plastic sheet set up down in the back where it's some shelter, and all my soil's going to go there and hopefully bake in summer. So hopefully that idea will work fine. I mean, if you look at this whole thing, there is no taper. That's just one great straight broomstick. So if we look at trying to bring branches down, so it's that sort of Nordic sort of formal upright. I definitely want to keep this. I definitely do want to keep all this. This is a great horrible straight. It's not going to be any good, and I'll never get into the pot either, so get rid of that. Stuff up here, we'll get rid of that. Very big heavy lump, get rid of that. Downwards we don't want, get rid of those. I mean, there is, if you look there, you've actually got quite a nice set of roots on there. With that, there's a good chance that whole great knot comes off. See, the front's going to have to be somewhere around here, I think. Don't like that branch now, not very much. Anyway, the main priority of this one today was to get it out of that. Okay, let's see if we've got a pot we can put that in. Just get a bit more of that soil out. It's only a little bit of the old. It's definitely going to be slanting. I think I'm going to plant it like that. Okay, need to find a pot for it. Well, mind you, we freed up a pot, didn't we? I'm just wondering if I have a circular pot for this one. As always, some of our potting decisions get decided by what we've actually got available. I had thought that I was going to be able to put it in that, and I could probably, but I want those roots to get much more of a radial thickness about them, more development, which means they want more soil. I don't want them crammed into here. Put this in this deep pot and just see how it goes on in this. I appreciate you can't see what I'm doing in there, but all I am doing is organising the roots so that they go out in a radial direction. And as I say, I want to accentuate that angle. Now, the other advantage, I could have actually left it in there. With a lot of those pots, what I've discovered is that they hold the moisture. So the reason why I'm often not getting the root development I hoped off some of the Yamadori stuff and that is because actually it's quite wet in there. And when I pulled that out, there was quite a bit of moisture in there. So it's the other reason why I have gone for this, something like this, because you could argue that I haven't actually gained anything. Although to be fair, I have been able to change the potting angle, which is important, really. So ignore what I just said. You probably can't see it probably, but that root, that trunk base isn't that attractive, but it's what the tree provided. I'm coming out with some waffle at the moment. Yeah, I can almost see this branch going, to be honest, unless I can get downwards. Wondering whether I end up removing all of these lower ones. So all I'll do is I'll cut back a lot of it because I don't want the growth getting any taller than that. I can see the front being somewhere there, I think. Can't be there. Has to have some part of this. Could be there. So if it's there, then actually that would work, because I would just need to neaten that off, bring these back. Let's put our rock here so that I know that's where I want the front to be, I think. Okay, I had a bit of a rethink. I actually looked. Front's going to be there. A lot nicer there. Could be that all goes and we'll keep with this. But I think I can do a lot more there. And remember, all these basic buds, these initial buds are going to be developing the growth that I'll be training downwards. And that will then allow me to be a lot more high. I mean, this has got to come back a long way, which is what I'll do now. And also the wire that I put on still hasn't scarred in or anything. That needs to bend down. Coming around here, if I cut this one off, that allows me to change that and get that downwards I'm looking for. I'll definitely need to use some sort of device for that. So get the wire down on that. Removing buds that waste the space. That's quite what you call rough and coarse there for now. But that's two from that junction. Tempted to actually regrow that all. Regrow all that. A few buds there, so let's get rid of that. Here, again, it's far too coarse. I want all the development down here, so I'm really not bothered what's going on up here. Except that we've got, if you see there, I keep dropping my nice tools, buds there either side, so we'll get rid of that. clean that up, see what comes out of those. Which means on this one here, you really don't want to do anything more than that. So we're there, a bit of wire to that and we're done, I think. Okay, so it hasn't turned out how I thought it would, but I'm not unhappy. I can see the future for it. It's obviously going to have to be in this deeper pot for longer than I thought, but as I said, with larch, they do prefer a deeper pot. It gives room for those roots. I don't need to worry about it for, probably if I keep it in there, I could probably keep it in there for 3 years before I need to really look at it again, by which point I should have a really strong mat of healthy roots, which I can then prune to a pot that I really wanted in, a shallower pot. So we'll give it a spin. Obviously I took everything off the top, but a bit of wire here, front somewhere there. I know it's very raw, and some of those branches, as I say, this one, that may not get resolved. If I can get more stuff growing down, I may end up ginning that off. So it all depends what happens with this growth up here. But spinning it round, you know, I like the angle it's at. I definitely like the angle. The wire hasn't bitten in, so that will be fine. I'll have to watch that. I'll probably put a reminder for a couple of months' time. But yeah, so that's the other of the larches from, gosh, yeah, same time as my old man. So that's a 2002 larch, 22 years old. More problems in the roots, but I reckon we've got places to go with that in a few years. And like all things with bonsai, it isn't instant, no matter how much we want it to be instant. Some of them take a bit of work. That lemon, you're going to see that lemon again, but that won't be till the bonfire bash sometime deep in October or whatever. Anyway, from Xavier in the bonsai garden of Grantham, I'll say thanks for watching. Happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.